of the day coming from the library, and we'll be talking about the Portland Trailblazers' upcoming offseason priorities. This is a team that this previous year, they kind of blew it up. They said it was time. And this is a team that they have the sixth best chance to win the number one pick. They went 27-55 at a net rating of negative 9.1 at the 27th best offense and 29th best defense. And this is a team that going into next season with $125 million being the expected salary cap, they have $93 million committed, 93.6, which means they will be having about $32 million in cap room. All right. And Yusuf Nurkic, Ben McLemore, Cody Zeller, Dennis Smith, CJ Ellaby, Elijah Hughes, Drew Eubank, Chris Dunn, and Reggie Perry are all free agents, while, Blevins, Keljin Blevins, I don't expect him to be back, but Brandon Williams and Anfernee Simons both have qualifying offers, and I expect both guys to be back. Now, I expect out of their free agents, I expect maybe Elijah Hughes, at least Drew Eubanks to be back. Chris Dunn could come back, but maybe a team likes what they saw and takes him up. I don't expect Yusuf Nurkic, Ben McLemore, or Cody Zeller to come back. So let's talk about what went wrong. Things really fell apart for the Portland Trailblazers, but that's kind of good. They maxed out their ceiling with the group of players they had, and Portland had a dark cloud hanging overhead with a reportedly toxic work environment from Neil Olshey. And they hit the restart button. They moved Norman Powell, Robert Covington, CJ McCollum, and a few trades. Damian Lillard didn't play 1 second once the year changed to 2022. The Blazers decided to embrace the tank and had a couple fun months with Anfernee Simons. And with the draft situation, the Blazers blew things up close to trade deadline and then tanked their faces off to get to the sixth worst record in the NBA. And that leaves them with a 37.2% chance of a top 4 selection and a 9% chance of grabbing the first overall pick for the first time since they drafted Greg Oden in 2007. And maybe they want to stay at the 6th pick because they selected Damian Lillard there in 2012. But Portland would have had a second first round pick from New Orleans for the McCollum deal, but the Pelicans made the playoffs. So instead, the Portland Trailblazers will get the 2025 first round pick from Milwaukee via the New Orleans Pelicans. The Blazers own their own second round pick, which is the 32nd selection. And they also have the 57th pick, which originally belonged to Memphis. And it went there from the Utah in the trade that, the whole trade right there. But the big things that they need to fix is about twofolds. One, they give them this financial flexibility to quickly rebuild around Lillard. The Blazers need to absolutely accomplish the first part of that, just in case there is the danger of Dame changing his mind and wanting out of Portland for a better chance to win. The second would be icing, the cake. And Yusuf Nurkic is unrestricted, and Simons is a free agent. It's like a restricted free agent. If Dame stays, you bring back Yusuf Nurkic. If he doesn't stay, you don't bring him back. You bring back Simons regardless. And they clear, Joe Ingles off the book. Eric Bledsoe's a non-guarantee for next season, so you can cut him. And Josh Hart's awesome, but he's valuable, and I think he should stay. Or, you can trade him. But regardless, I would love to see this team retool and recruit some players, because I know they don't have great track history of bringing in big free agents, but, they also have been capped out most of the time. They finally have wiggle room, so let's see what they can do. And it'll be fun, And I've talked about this before, when you look at this, it's interesting because in the draft, if you want to talk about who they could take, let's say if they get the 6th pick, okay, there's Jalen Duran, Paulo Banchero, Jabari Smith, Chet Holmgren. With those 3 guys right there, Jalen Duran is probably the only one's going to be there, but I think it's definitely going to be interesting because, they have some players on this roster, and I think, Drew Eubanks played well, okay, and Greg Brown and Keon Johnson are young guys, but what's going to happen, it all depends on Damian Lillard and what he wants to do. So that's where I want to hear you guys' thoughts. So where are you guys on this? Do you think Dame stays? Because if you look at, the free agent, situation that we're looking at this upcoming year, we're not going to sit here and be like, okay, this is so many free agents, because there isn't a lot of free agents this year. There's some guys at the top, but I don't think any of those guys would go over here. And then when you look lower down, does a Lou Dort interest you? Malik Monk, okay? Does a Ricky Rubio? I don't think they'll bring back Robert Covington, okay? But, PJ Tucker, Gary Payne II, Jay Tate, Victor Oladipo, Bruce Brown, Patty Mills, all guys that are possible. Dante DiVincenzo, Otto Porter. Okay, all guys that could very much help this roster. So let me know your thoughts down below.